Okay, hi, welcome. Thanks for joining us for our first staycation week for the Partnership and Suicide Prevention Camp. We are here interviewing Sarah Sanchez. She is the Executive Director at Carson Valley Community Food Closet. And part of our camp experience this week is meeting someone in your community and finding out what they do. And so we decided to choose Sarah because Sarah is doing such a wonderful thing here in our Douglas County area, helping people learn about food, nutrition, and making sure that they have the simple things of food that they need. Because there are a lot of things going on right now with COVID and with jobs and families and transitions. And Sarah's just doing a fantastic job, and we wanted to make sure that you get to meet Sarah and what she does here in our community. So hi, Sarah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So Sarah, we'll go back to maybe sometime in your childhood or early teens, a favorite memory that you might have had helping someone.
Yeah. So when I was younger, for most of my kid life and into my adult life, my mom worked for a domestic violence agency.
Okay.
And so when I got into middle school, early high school, I had a lot of opportunity to volunteer there, doing simple things like filing paperwork and doing data entry. And then eventually that turned into helping during a domestic violence support group and playing with the kids who were all witnesses or sometimes victims of that violence. And so I think not necessarily a specific memory, but some of my earliest memories were also associated with growing up and feeling like when I was helping, I had value.
Oh, that's great.
So as a kid, it made you feel good to know that you were helping others. But then as you're immersed in whatever activity it is that you're doing that's helpful, when you start to see the effects of that help, it feels good and it feels motivating, and you know that you're making a difference, and so it's kind of like it becomes a driving force. So simple things like some of the kids in the group who were shy and fearful in the beginning, and then the more they saw you and the more they came, they would become comfortable, and then they would want your attention or talk and share with you, those kinds of things. And then other stuff, when you give somebody help and you see the relief on their face, or maybe even in their body language, and you just know that makes a difference, whether it was said verbally or not.
That's fantastic.
Those are some, good helping memories.
That's great. Yeah, no, that's a wonderful example, and that's why we wanted to make sure that we spoke with you, because I think your story and what you're doing here is inspiring help. And help is a big word, and not just now while people are struggling, but all the time. We should always have service close to what we do each day. So I'm assuming because of those examples that you have and those memories, that created a passion for you in continuing as an adult. Do you want to give us some?
I think for me it was like, okay, so here I'm doing something and it's helpful, and again, a little bit is almost selfish because you feel good and you want to keep feeling good. So if you do these actions or take this path, that you can continue to feel that way, and be helpful and make a difference to somebody. And so by volunteering, it opened up a door for me to do more with that nonprofit, which eventually ended up morphing into other things, and the long story short led me here. And I think, I had one small time where I worked for a retailer, and I thought, oh, this is going to be good. It's not going to be difficult. I'm not going to be, burnt out or overworked or whatever. I can just check in and check out. And that was really short-lived. Like somehow
You weren't fed by that.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So then I went right back into nonprofit work, and I've been doing it ever since.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. So in your achievement of understanding your path in that, what would be some suggestions you would have for any of our young people watching today to kind of figure that out in knowing what your passion is and how that helped you be successful now?
I would say number one thing for me would be volunteer. Volunteer anywhere and everywhere that you can get into, or that might even seem interesting to you, because you never know where that will lead. And for me, it led to an entire career path. So if you can volunteer, you'll be able to you'll be able to see this world, or this path that maybe you didn't know about. Maybe you want to help animals, but you don't really know what's involved. So you volunteer at the wildlife center, and then now you realize, oh, it's not just cuddling cute animals, there's paperwork and there's vet stuff and whatever else. And if you love it, great, you keep going. If you don't love it, then you find something else. So I think volunteering is probably my number one suggestion.
Excellent. And it's so fantastic that she talked about wildlife, is because in your packet this week, you found stories about Jane Goodall and Dr. Goodall, and how she started her passion with animals and wildlife based on a chimpanzee that she got as a little girl from her dad. And that took her on to doing just tremendous work, starting off as a volunteer, and then being who she is today and still working with foundations. So perfect segue. That's fantastic. You didn't even know. So volunteering, and you can volunteer at a lot of different organizations. In your packet, you are going to have a list of some organizations that you can look at. You can volunteer as a youth or as a family, and you can refer to those on your paper list that you'll see. So Sarah, how long have you been here? I know this is a relatively new building, but all together?
Yeah. The food closet.
How long have you been the director at the food closet?
For 7 years.
For 7 years. And how long, this has been here, about a year and a half?
It'll be, just over a year, so.
Yeah. So Sarah is going to let us take a tour of this beautiful facility and kind of explain what goes on, the ins and outs here at the food closet. And if you are interested in finding out more, they could go to the website.
Yeah, thefoodcloset.org, or email info@thefoodcloset.org, and we're happy to talk about the agency and how people can get services or how people can get involved.
Great. Well, thanks for sharing a little bit about your story and inspiring our young people in the community to discover what their passion is.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's go on a tour. Put on our masks here.
Okay.
So we'll do a swipe of the kitchen, maybe?
Yeah. So, this is our kitchen learning center, and this is part of our new facility. The idea being we hand out food every day, and we want to make sure that our recipients are getting the most out of what they're receiving. So we do, Morena and Morgan specifically have been doing some demos. We have a chef from Edgewood who's come down to show people what they can do with pantry staples that they receive. Really trying to think outside of the box, that peanut butter can be more than just on crackers or on sandwiches, but it can become a sauce or a dessert or something else. And so that's what we use this space for. And one of the nice things is that the space is built right off of our lobby. So the idea is when we have clients come in, we've got these beautiful double doors, and they open up into this space, and we can really share our passion for service and helping and food with our recipients, and they can come in and feel comfortable and enjoy the space as well, and try new things and learn new ways to cook items. So that's one of the wonderful aspects of this new building, and this is what this allows us. And so what
do you do classes in here?
We can do classes in here. Most of the time we try to do them in the kitchen. Smaller, more intimate groups seem to work a little bit better.
Okay.
But what you're looking at now is our COVID response to helping people. So we have 6 folks in at a time, and they check in at the window. We take their order. A lot of our food is client choice, so they get to say what they will or will not like in their order, which is really good. It helps with food waste and making sure that they're eating all that they're getting.
Great.
So let's head this way. And we're just going to walk down through our admin area. Our business office. For those of you who don't know, I have one staff member. Her name is Denise. She's over here. Working hard. But we have over 100 volunteers who help us make sure that this entire operation works every day.
Don't forget your glove.
So come on back. This is our warehouse, and you're actually seeing one version of the warehouse. It looks a little bit different depending on how much product we have in or what we've received. We're really excited. We just received a grant so that we can put in warehouse racking and extend one of our walk-in freezers, and that's going to help us be able to take in more food and help more people. So that's a really big next step for us. So eventually this will look a lot different.
About how many families are you able to service?
So I would say anywhere between 300 to 500 a month.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, and that's depending on the time of the year. So we see more folks during the winter and during the holidays, less in the summer. But that seems to be about average. Just goes up and down.
That's
Yeah.
great. Okay.
So if we come to the other side of the warehouse, this is a little bit more of the working end. This is where we're getting our pickups and our deliveries, where we're doing a lot of our sorting of the product. We try to be as absolutely resourceful as we can. So we reuse boxes, we reuse bags, we reuse just about anything that seems like it would be good enough for getting food out the door or organizing food products. We recycle all of our cardboard that we don't use, and we are getting ready to start a compost as well. So we're pretty excited about that.
And we also, in your kit, you're going to be receiving, there are media blogs that you get to watch about composting and planting a garden, and you are going to be getting your seeds. So another great connection.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say if you are already a good gardener, or you decide to learn how to garden and you've overgrown or you have extra, we will accept homegrown produce from people in our community. It's a great way to get nutritional foods to our clients as well.
And that'd be a wonderful way, as part of your 5 Be Kind this week. You can plant your vegetables and plan to maybe deliver them here. That's a great way to show kindness.
Yeah. Come on over. So this is our distribution area, and this is really where our volunteers come in. They run a different area, a different like food. Say for example, somebody is responsible for handing out the cans, the dry goods, the meat products. And since we take our clients' orders and essentially ask them what they want, a volunteer will take those items out of their station, put them in a grocery cart, and then the cart goes out to our recipients. And that's what's happening back here. Right now everyone's kind of prepping for the day, so it's quiet, which is always a good start to the morning. And then come over here. One of the ways that we try to offer even more client choice is by allowing our folks to pick the items that they want themselves. So what you're looking at right now, we just refer to as the front store. It's minimally stocked. Usually they can go inside and pick stuff off of more of the shelves. Right now with the current pandemic, we are obviously limiting some actions, but this is a really great way for people to decide, do I like Vienna sausage? Can I cook with it? Do I like walnuts? What would I do with them? And also for our volunteers to have conversations about those things with our folks. And then back to the lobby.
Fantastic. I think I'd pick M&Ms.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for showing us this wonderful facility. You can also, I believe, donate.
Yes.
So if you and your folks are out shopping and you want to maybe add some
Perishable
non-perishable items, or even if they wanted to
we can accept refrigerated.
that's another great way for you to help and volunteer and support Sarah and the volunteers and Denise here at the Food Closet. Thanks so much for a great interview, and we hope you have a great summer.
Thank you. Same to you.